Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains, and today I am so excited to be with you. Stay tuned because I'm going to do a book review on a book that I found in mid-April, and I just got it, so stay tuned. Are you still waiting, dying to know what I'm talking about? I am so excited. This book I have been waiting for since mid-April. That's like 4 months away, and it just launched. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to arrive August 31st today, but I got it a couple days early. This book right here, it's called Mix and Match Modern Crochet Blankets. It is by Esme Crick, and she is on Instagram and Facebook as Red Sparrow Crochet. So if you haven't seen her, check out her page. Her projects, her styles, her designs, her patterns are phenomenal. So if you're tired of granny squares, and I gotta be honest with you, after finishing my granny square cardigan, I needed something a little bit different, but I was tired of just like making a blanket that was just a blanket. I wanted something that had a little bit of zhuzh to it, you know, that wasn't a granny square, that I didn't have to worry about weaving in all the ends. So when you order something that is pre-ordered, you only get like the front page. I mean, this was it. This cover right here sucked me in so much so that I ordered it, but I had to wait 4 months. I had really no idea what the book was going to be completely about. I just thought I was getting these patterns, which I thought these look really cool. Little modern crochet, a little bit of a boho look. Well, let me tell you, the book surpasses all my expectations. What Esme has done with this book is brilliant, in my opinion. So let's dive in. The book is called Mix and Match Modern Crochet Blankets, and it's by Esme Crick. Esme Crick. She's out of England. And so what it is she gives you over 100 patterns, but over 1,000 different techniques, so you can mix and match and make your own patterns. I loved it, I think, because it had kind of a modern look to it, a modern twist. But let's check out the inside and I'll show you what I'm really excited about. So she's going to give you some patterns. First of all, the pictures are really, really nice. The binding is really secure. Sometimes when you get these books, you open it up, the spine breaks and all the pages fall out. So far, I'm very impressed with the spine, which is great. You think, does that really matter? It does when you're opening these books and flipping through them and trying to, do your patterns. So we've got a lot of very modern crocheted blankets. This is not going to be your granny squares. As a matter of fact, there are no granny squares in here, which I think appealed to me too, because I wanted something that had different textures, different techniques, different colors, just different styles that wasn't a granny square. So check this one out here. But the way that you do it is she gives you these different patterns, but then in the back of the book, she gives you all these different techniques. And basically you just make these strips, and you make as many of these strips as you want in all the different colors that you want, and you just mix and match them as you choose. It's kind of like, I could be dating myself here, but there was a clothing line when I was a kid called Garanimals, and there was like a giraffe and a hippo and a monkey and something else. And as long as you got all the giraffe tops and bottoms, everything went together, or the monkey tops and bottoms, or whatever it was, right? So they called it Garanimals. But this one here, you just find a technique that you like, you do the strip, and most of these, I believe, are 18 to like 21 stitches across. She gives you a whole section on how to do a fringe, which is actually a part of the design. Looking to see if it's on here, part of the design. There's a whole section here about bobbles and fillets, and it's broken up in such a way. Let me show you the title page here. That, okay, what's the best place to show you? So basically, it gives you all the materials, all the things that you need, your tools, your crochet hooks, the yarn. She uses an acrylic number 4, weight of 4. And so basically she gives you, if you want the blanket to be 18 inches or 21 inches or whatever it is, and you're just going to follow a pattern that has those measurements. And then you're going to go and find your chapters. She's got your stitch charts right here. Then she's going to give you your, so like here's a pattern right here called Dreamland. If you want to make this one that's already preset, all you do is you just follow along to this chart here. You go to the page for this section. For this part here, you go to the page that represents this section. And then you basically just make this as you go, and then you, I think you sew it together all at the end. I don't think you sew it together as you go. I suppose you could. Here's another one. So here's the finished product. And if you like this, then you just basically follow along over here on this side. But if you want something different, you can then go to the different pages. Here's another one I liked. I'm actually going to be doing something very similar to this. My stepdaughter has allowed me, which is very exciting. I love her very much. She's very, very sweet. But she has, yes, said that she would like an Afghan for me, but she wants them in the colors of yellow, gray, and white. So I'm going to do mostly gray. And you can change up the colors in this any way you want. I'm mostly going to do gray, but I'm going to incorporate some of the yellows and some of the whites. These are very, very modern, soothing colors right now. That one's called Frosty Morning. So here is a section. It's 100 strips and patterns. So there are 100 strip section patterns in this part of the book. So here you've got just your basic single crochet. And then you've got your single crochet back loop only. So it's almost an instructional book as well. Then you've got your extended single crochet over here. You have your half double crochets. So basically this is a very, very beginner friendly book. Here's double crochets here. Here is a double crochet back loop only. So I think what we're going to do with this book together, treble crochets, and then there's some fancier stuff. Here's something called the Catherine wheel over on this side. You can see that. This one is the sedge stitch. Then there's a whole section on bobbles and fillets. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through this one by one, and I'm going to do the tutorials. Here's some basket weave. You guys have been interested in that, right? But the cool thing about it is you don't have to make a whole entire Afghan that's all basket weave or all bobble or all rigid stripes, or here's one on loopy loops. You can do a section and really add some super interesting definition and textures to your blankets. And again, she's using all acrylic. I believe she is using a weight of 4. So this is your mainstream basic yarn. As a matter of fact, I just got a bunch of this, the Schitt's Creek yarn that was on clearance. So I think I'm going to use, this is perfect for this kind of a thing. And I've got it in these colors, and I've got it in some other colors as well. But I might make my own, just your basic acrylic. This is one of the most user-friendly books, pattern books that I have found, because you try these different techniques and then you get to like have your own style and make your own thing. Here's a book club bag that she came up with. So if you want to do just that pattern, then you do that. Here's, and that basically shows you the different pattern here, and then the charts. And the charts are really important. Here is something on, I guess she calls them doodles. So it gets more complex as the book goes through. Then we get into a whole section on mosaic and on bobbles. Really excited. Here's actually some bobbles right here. Now I'm also doing a blanket that I started a while back, a basket stitch. And instead of going through the whole entire blanket as a basket stitch, I thought I'm going to incorporate some of these patterns here. And so right now I'm actually doing a bobble. Here is a chunky zigzag. So what I mean is you can just, and the thing is, you can do whatever you want, but the rows that you're doing, anywhere between like 6 to 10 to 12. So it's not going to take you long. You could actually get yourself just a bunch of scraps and try these different techniques, make a bunch of these different blocks, and then just sew them together when you're ready. It's such an interesting concept. Instead of just like, here's a pattern, here's a pattern, here's a pattern. Here's all these different techniques. Like these look great, right? This is called a 4x4. And this one here is just called one-way street, but it's a bunch of triangles. I was just peeling through. Now, oftentimes when I get a pattern book, I pick it up, I go, oh, okay, great, I got a pattern, whatever. I actually peeled through this book page by page. Here's an interesting one where you actually include the tassels throughout the actual block. That's going to be really interesting. There's also one that has like pom-poms, tassels. Oh, here's one, cheerleader pom-poms. I love that. That's adorable. I would do that on gray with a little bit of this orange, the burnt mustard yellow, I guess you could call it, mustard yellow pom-poms. You could make these into baby blankets. You can make them into regular Afghans. You could do them in any color scheme you wanted. It just goes on and on and on. So these are just like page and page and page. The book, the colors in this book are vibrant. The instructions are very, very well written, very easy. And then she's got these charts here at the bottom of the page. So again, if you can't seem to figure it out based on the instructions, you can just drop down and look at the charts. And I've been using the charts. I kind of go to charts. That's sort of my go-to. And it's been not a problem whatsoever. This one's interesting here. It's called Twisted Vines. Okay. And this one here is called Big Sun. So do you see how creative you can get with this? It's just amazing. Here's some really interesting like diamond patterns that you can put into it. Mosaic, so that would be like a two-toned or two different colors. But all of this stuff is just, it's really, really well written, really put together. This is an interesting pattern, right? As well as this one here. So I'm going to give this book a big old thumbs up. I am so, Stash Buster Scarf. Check that out. I mean, is that not scream me? I don't know. But how simple is that? It's just basically like one color, which would be sort of a gray, and then you just put in some contrast bubbles. How fun would that be? This is what I'm adding to one of mine. I'm doing some zigzag bubbles in one of my blankets. So I did a bunch of stripes in a basket weave, and it's a variegated yarn. So it's going to be, I'll show you when I get, closer to it. So I'm actually not switching colors. I'm sticking with the same yarn, but I'm just bringing in the, as it gets lighter, I'm bringing in a different stitch. So as the yarn transitions through colors, I'm just bringing in a different stitch. You could absolutely do that as well. You wouldn't even have to change colors. You could do the same yarn if you have a variegated or a self-striping, and then just change the pattern block as the colors start to change. That would be brilliant. I think after my cardigan, I need something that doesn't have a lot of ends to weave in, because that got a little bit much there at the end. And then here at the very end, there's a really nice tutorial just on like your basic stitches if you haven't done this before. I find this book to be very, very beginner friendly. Here's some information here on mosaic crochet, tapestry crochet. Very beginner friendly, but again, even if you are an intermediate or even an expert, I think that you will find this book to be really, really inspiring. So the author, again, her name is Esme. She lives in England. She does have a Ravelry page and an Etsy page. She goes under the name Red Sparrow Crochet. So I'm going to see if we can't try to get her on the show. I'd love to interview her about this. I don't think that she has written a book before. So if this is truly her first attempt, bravo. She knocked this baby right out of the park. I am so excited. It's published by a company called David and Charles, and they have some really great books. If you guys have ever seen these before, I think a couple of these are even in my cart, even in my cart on Amazon. Very, very well bound. As I said, it's called Mix and Match Modern Crochet Blankets. It retails for $24.99. I think because I pre-ordered it, I got it for like $21 or $22. So you get a little bit of a discount if you pre-order it. And I've been waiting since mid-April for this book to come out. And I'm just, I haven't been inspired by a pattern book like this. I'm probably going to say in a very, very long time, if not in forever. I was so excited to sit down and just jump on this. So this is my book review on this Mix and Match Modern Crochet Blankets by Esme Crick, C-R-I-C-K. It's on Amazon. Go and get yourself some. I'm going to put it down in the links, but I highly, highly recommend this. Very, very user-friendly. Look at these great stuff back here. So if you are looking for just something a little bit different, you want to kind of go out a little bit on an edge, we're going to go through and do some tutorials out of this book. And even if you feel like I really don't have that much inspiration, I'm really not that good at it, there are some patterns you could just follow along with. I mean, like that's adorable. Very boho, very bohemian, which is huge right now. Or you could even just say, you know what, I got this extra yarn. I don't know what to do with it. Just start making some of these blocks, make a bunch of them, and then kind of mix and match and see which colors go together and see what you want to put together. But I think this here, this is a weight of 4. This is my Esme Crick. This is a perfect yarn. So if you have just something like a really basic acrylic, a paint box, or I think she uses Sheppy's, I don't think it's a Gatonia. She just uses a straight up acrylic, I believe it is. But you can do anything you want. My only caution, as always, is whatever yarn you decide to use, it's always best if you ideally use the same line, the same product, right? Because the weights are kind of subjective. A 4 with, you know, maybe a Lion's brand, or Lion brand may not be exactly a 4 with a Karen's or something like that. You want to make sure that if you've got a yarn that's got a sheen to it, that you kind of stay with it, or that you have the fibers as opposed to not having the fibers, like a brushed kind of want, you know, I mean, you can go a little edgy with that, but I've always found that the best results come from using yarn that's like the same. Okay, but the colors, go out and have fun. Even mix in some variegated with stuff if you want to with this. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of projects coming out of this book. I'm super excited. So I couldn't wait to just come and show you guys this book. I've been actually stalking Amazon for the last couple days. I don't know that you can find this anywhere else. Maybe some of your online yarn stores are going to have it, but right now Amazon has it. And it, as a matter of fact, it was supposed to arrive August 31st. Which is today, but I actually got it like 2 days early. So it even exceeded my expectations. All right. Well, there you go. So this is Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. Thank you so much for just checking in and for all your wonderful comments. I love that we crochet and knit together, and some of you even watch my videos while you're crocheting and you're knitting, and gosh, I'm so flattered. I don't like my voice, but maybe you do. So that's really wonderful. So, you know, a lot more to come. As always, thanks so much for inviting your friends, for bringing us along. I have some exciting news. We're getting very, very close to hitting 1,000 friends. And we might be doing, oh, did you see that? You see how bright it just got? The sun just came out. We've had some really funky weather and the sun just decided to come out. And it's like noon. But I've got some really exciting news. I might even be doing a giveaway here shortly. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit that notification button so you know when every video lands that I've got coming out, so you don't miss one video. Tell your friends about us. Like and subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for subscribing and being here. And I'll be here, and I'll see you soon.